faith. For the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. You either master that fear, or that fear is going to master you. Because every time you give into that fear, a piece of your life dies. So I want you to make a decision right here and right now. Draw a line in the sand and say, I will not live this way. Fear cannot have me anymore. Nelson Mandela said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Now I will say it again. To go to the next level, you must boldly and aggressively attack the things that scare you. You must learn to look at that fear in the eye and the things that make you feel uncomfortable and say, so what? You will not stand in the way of my greatness. Every time fear shows its face, you grab it by its neck and you choke the life out of it. Stop letting false evidence appearing real destroy your dreams. Fear is just faith in reverse. Arise, champion, and go out and live the life you were meant to live. The moment you start to hesitate, you gotta attack it. The moment that fear whispers in your ear, you gotta smash it. To go to the next level, you must stare into the eyes of the things that make you feel uncomfortable. Your future is too important to be held hostage by fear. Get out of the stands, get out of that comfort zone, and move toward the edge. Walk all the way out there to the ledge and jump. God made you a conqueror. Now go out into the world and conquer. Champions master their fears. That's why we call them champions. To be successful, you're going to have to learn how to stare into the eyes of the things that scared you and make you feel uncomfortable. Say, so what? The richest man to ever live, King Solomon, said where there's no vision, the people perish. So for you to be successful, you got to get clear about what you want in life. Because when you have a vision, life stops happening to you and you start happening to life. You see, clarity is the starting point, the jump off for all personal transformation. Now I'm going to give you 4 powerful questions to help get you started. Number 1, how do you want to feel in each area of your life? Number 2, what does success mean to you? Define it. Number 3, what outcomes will produce that experience? And number 4, what goals will initiate those outcomes? You can tell the level of faith a person has by the size of their dreams. True believers dream bigger and aim higher, for they know the size of the God they serve. If you want to accomplish amazing things and experience all that life has to offer, you must set enormous, almost to the edge of insanity, goals for yourself. The age of being practical is over. Dreaming with boldness takes the limits off of God. It allows him to work the miracles that he is so willing to do. Don't set your goals in relation to your own abilities. Set your goals in accordance with the God you serve. And let me tell you this, all things are possible with God. So if you align with him, if you align with his principles, you are blessed and unstoppable. Now let's go to the word. Now to him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Now notice that last statement. According to the power that worketh in us. That means everything you need to accomplish your dream is already inside you. Wake up. That's the secret. It's already in you. When you gain revelation to that power that's in you, there's not a wall, there's not an obstacle, there's not a mountain that can stand in your way. Because all things are possible to him that believes. And when you believe that kind of way, and you serve that kind of God, you are blessed and unstoppable. You have been granted through grace the power and authority to accomplish your divine assignment.
All right, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, one of the two. All right, cool bananas. We have some technical difficulties, but don't worry about it. We'll work through it like we always do. My tech guy is not here today, so you leave text to me, forget it. It's all over with. All right. Good evening, everyone. How you doing tonight? We got some things to go over tonight. Also, there are a few things we're going to go over, but one of the things we want to begin to understand is this. I'm drinking water, so that's the first thing. All right, one of the things we want to go ahead and go over with you is that we have many things to go and work with, and on top of that, we are looking to go ahead and see what we can go ahead and do and work inside of the situation of what it is to work with technical difficulties. All right. So one of the things we want to begin to look at is as we go ahead and build the business credit, we also want to look at a couple of other things that actually come up. One of the things is that what is it that makes a difference for you when you begin to work inside of your business? And on top of that, what else are you doing to go ahead and have things run smoothly inside of what you're doing? So one thing we want to begin to understand and have you look at is we want you to know there are many things that need to be done inside of it's like in the side of what you're working for. It's like, okay, what are the working mechanics of a car? Now, a lot of you don't understand how a car is built, but you know you need gas, you know you need to have oil, you need to know you have to have some checkups in your engine, your transmission, because if one doesn't work, you can have the best engine in the world, but if the transmission doesn't work, then you're like, oh well. Your drive shafts, your front wheel drive, or you're going to be rear wheel drive, or all wheel drive. See, all these things you need to know at least what they are so you can operate within them. So one thing we want to begin to understand is what is it that makes a difference for you, so you know what's going on in the world with you, so you can understand what are some of the things that are actually working with you. And on top of that, you want to begin to know what is the world of all observance that you're doing. So one thing you want to begin to understand is, where are you? Where are you working at? What's going on? What's the thing that you really make a difference in? What is it you're really going to be doing inside of your business? What is your why? How much why do you have? The why is the one that's going to pull you out of the dungeon if you know really why what you're doing. A lot of you don't have the why stamina, which makes a big difference in what you're going to be doing inside building your business. Like, for instance, this week, there has been some challenges, not only for all the participants, but for most of the world itself. Now, what I mean by that, most of the world itself, is what's happening with that part is, guess what? One of the things you begin to look at and see is that you are working in a position that makes a difference, but yet you don't know what difference does it make. So one of the things we want to begin to look at is, what is it that makes a difference? What is it that really goes on into the world itself? What is it that you really are up to in building? Like, really, what are you really up to build inside of what you say you're up to? See, a lot of it says we're up to something, but when we ask you why, well, I just want to make money. I promise you, if you say you just want to make money, the problem is you won't make any. And let me tell you why you won't make any. You'll make it, but I'm saying it'll be harder to make it because if you're going after money, that's not a motivator. Money is not even a motivator inside of itself. What it is actually a handicapper. It'll handicap you beyond the means of you looking what to do. For instance, if I told you that you would be going on and moving in the world with ease and glide, how would you go ahead and respond to that? Some of you say, oh yeah, right, I know. Do you really know? How do you know? By the way you speak? Do you have your vision board up? How do you know if you don't have a vision board? Do you really have a vision board that's showing you where you're going to go? What is your why? How big is your why? I mean, it's like, it's one thing after another. How big is your why to pull you out of the dungeon when no one else is around, when you're left with your own thoughts? Some of your thoughts, you go inside your head, and it's the most dangerous place to go in there by yourself. Going in there by yourself is really not the most healthiest thing to do. Why? A lot of people think it's funny, but it really isn't. Unless you really have yourself squared away, well, you know your self-talk is your own worst enemy. One of the things you begin to realize is that you're the one that makes a difference in what happens. Nobody else. You're it. No one's coming. Everyone thinks there's somebody coming. No, no one's coming. You want to begin to go ahead and look at what is it, what's going to make the difference in the moment, which is present, which if you did something different today, what would happen? What would happen if you actually started doing something today that would make a difference for tomorrow inside of the way you thought? Some people get caught in the sharing with their own stuff. In other words, you're like, you're in bed with your own mind.
Oh, dear.
Hello, someone there? Hello? All right, so now what we want to say is, as you begin to move on, you want to begin to understand that what you're doing isn't making a difference, not inside for yourself, but what about the way you actually operate and move so you can actually have something that makes a difference inside the world. For instance, let me find this here. I'm going to give you this a new share. I want to see if I have it here. Yeah, here it is. All right. Friday, we had a lot of stuff going on with a lot of people. I got a lot of calls after all this in the afternoon, and on Saturday too. Do you realize Zelle had a problem with their situation? There's a whole bunch of problem regarding even bank. This was all Bank of America. They wouldn't be able to get their stuff done. It was anything over $4,500 just got stopped, especially because it had to do with a lot of the Ukraine stuff, but also for some reason Bank of America just started getting weird because Bank of America, you're offline, the hack, whatever they're saying there, Bank of America. So you guys will block my online banking, Bank of America, whatever it is, Bank of America this, Bank of America that. You guys got to understand, whatever goes on in the world, it's going to have, people are going to panic. Most reported 52% of online banking had a problem. 24% mobile had a problem, and 24% of ATM. But it was money over $4,500. But one thing people didn't realize is that, wow, you think you were the only one in the world? You got to understand that was that particular day. Could it be tomorrow? I don't know. But here's the bottom line is, you've always got to remember, in a perfect world, everything doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But in the world that's not so perfect, things happen. Things really do happen. But what are you going to do? And it's horrible. I don't like it either, because I have a lot of things I needed to do that day. I couldn't even do them over the day during the weekend. There was like 18 of us were stuck in the morass of all the outcome of what happened. And a lot of people don't really understand, like, you know what? Hey, we don't plan on it, but that's just what happened. What are you going to do? Going to blame the world? Going to blame the people? Instead of saying, you know what? That's just kind of what happened. What are you going to do? Tomorrow morning, we're all 18 of us are actually on the move to do some movements. So we had to go revamp some things because we know now we're going to keep it under 4,500 for the transfers because of what they've done and what they've said for the moment. There's more stuff up. We're digging up. I have one guy that's real good in the tech area is going to dig it up for me. And there's some things because all the stuff that happened on the world and the war side, all of a sudden there was a lot of big transfers, Zelle transfers on that particular day, but none of us knew that was going to happen. If I would have said that, I would have said, forget it. Let's do it the day before, whatever it was. But how are you going to know? They just want to make, you got to understand, what are they making sure of so things don't happen? So this is what I'm talking about as being a founder of your organization, being a CFO for your organization, being a president for your organization. You've got to remember that one thing will always occur, what you don't expect. In business, what you don't expect is one of the biggest things that people do not realize what's going on. So I just want to make you aware of, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, yet one thing most powerful about it is, guess what? Is that it does happen. And are you ready for it? If you're ready for it, many things do really work well inside of what goes on. So here's what I want to let you know. No matter what happens in the world, no matter what happens in business, some of you even, I couldn't believe some of the people I had that's in the program. There's one particular program we have called the CFO. We have 2 more people probably in the middle of this month will be going over to the full set of the program. The thing is, you cannot react to the world. Another people don't realize when you're going to be working with CFOs, you're not going to be using your own checking account. You're going to be using their bank statements to go ahead and upload, and you're going to have authority to use the bank statements for their business to do what you're going to go ahead and do, not your own. But you've got to remember, when you're a CFO, you can't go to the president and start panicking. They'll look at you sideways. This is why you're on our program. This is why we have you doing what you're doing. This is why we even have a proxy to help you out. And on top of it, you're going to come crying to me. I'm telling you, folks, you've got to handle this like a Fortune 100 company. You must have the business like Bezos mentality. You must have your vision in business like Walmart. And you say, well, you know, that's not possible. Then guess what? You're not ready. I'm telling you, the whole nother game level when you play in other people's arena that are going to expect something of you. And do you think they're going to expect you while whining and crying, you guys? 18 people who were called, hey, well, my transfer's this, my transfer's that. And I said, and mine too, getting my Zelle, it too was all jacked up. But guess what? It's going to resolve itself. Maybe not how you want it. The world's never going to do how you want it. And you best get used to that. When it does, clap your hands and be excited. But when it doesn't, who cares? Who cares? Because you can always put it in and make up the difference somehow you can in life, however that is. Did I like it? No, because it definitely, I have some accounts they sell it to. It's not, it'll probably hit tomorrow. But inside of that, we'll get done what we get done. The only thing is, you've got to remember, you've got to always look for, okay, what's the cause? What's the action I can take? See, a lot of you aren't used to taking action. You're not used to going ahead and this is where you find out how mentally lazy you really are. Well, I work. I got it. I get it. I get some of you do work. I mean, out of the 18 people, there are at least more than maybe half, 9 to 10 of them actually, they work. Some have high, nice jobs, but I mean, they still work. But inside of that, they still have to do what they do. I mean, it's a challenge when things go south sometimes. This is the first time it's ever happened. And again, because remember, folks, whatever's going on that side of the world, what's going on is guess what's going on that side of the world. Guess what's going on that side of the world. You have the Ukraine, you have the Russia deal. You don't think that's all connected to the all banking situation? Come on, please. When you're building your business credit, you want to begin to understand your job is to make sure that you are the one that moves things forward, not backwards. You say, okay, great. What are we going to do? We're going to hang tight. All right, cool. Here's one thing. If you guys are so worried about whatever you're going to do in business that you haven't done or never did before, whatever it is, I mean, I never had this happen before. Since Zelle's been around, I have had not one thing happen, but there was no war going on in the world like this. Everybody out there in the world, in the higher echelon, in your Congress, United States, the banking. I mean, remember, they're all intertwined and intertangled. So they're worried about when you do move money in the Zelle and the big amounts, they get nervous at this particular time. But we found the threshold, so we know what we're going to do tomorrow. So you can do those a lot easier than doing a bigger amount. Who cares? You have to do it twice or 3 or 4 times in a freaking day. Doesn't matter. But the thing is, you've got to begin to understand in business credit and building your business and working with your business, you cannot panic other than this is the reason why we go. That's why foundation. That's one thing I always keep saying, divisions. You got to plan on the problems. Like I said, plan on the problems. There's always something that's going to go wrong. You've got to plan on it. Plan on it means, okay, if it shows up, what are you going to do? Panic? No, you go research, go see what can be done. All right, this is it. Okay, great. I didn't even figure this out until people started calling me. Hey, they started sending me stuff. Here you go. This is going on with Zelle. This is what we found out. Okay, great. Now we know what's going on. All right, so what are we going to do? Hang tight, because there's nothing you can do. Don't mess with the bank. Leave it alone. Don't try to call it back. Just leave it alone. It's there. It's going to come through. Some people, I had someone said they came in, they made a wire. The wire deposit said it went through. They went back to the bank, and the bank said we don't have it. They show them the wire deposit, and it's like, what? One was Chase U.S. Bank, who's a Truist Bank. I mean, some crazy stuff. I've never seen that in the last 10 years. Never. But there was no wars going on. You really don't think the Russia war is a big war? You guys better put your big man pants on and big woman pants on, because there is a lot of stuff going on that you're going to be glad you had your corporation, not your personal stuff. I warned you guys about this long ago. This is what I meant by being lazy. Mentally lazy is when you, oh my God, when you panic. When you panic, that's mentally lazy. Instead of saying, okay, what do I need to do? You got to ask yourself, and then take those actions to find out. Well, the bank said it already went over here. Everyone said, well, the bank said it was there. And I said, trust me. I said, so do mine. Mine said it went here. Mine said it went there. And someone that had a Zelle to me said it went there. But it tells you it's what it called processing. I'm telling you, the bank says processing. I kind of get the itch. I said, oh my God, processing. But that's just, and then you realize, you know what? That's just mentally lazy. It is what it is, and you got to hang on till Monday. They're not going to do anything on during the weekend. Here's the thing. Inside of you trying to panic, you have 86,400 seconds a day, and you want to waste your energy on that? I'd be looking, okay, what else can I go ahead and do with my divisions? Where else can I go ahead and get no PGs with no soft pull and no hard pulls? There's over 32 places you can go, but it's not the one I want. Oh, yes, it will be if you actually know where you're going to apply. One thing you want to begin, or is this just a straight soft pull? How do you know? You start calling up. Costco, is it a soft pull or a hard pull? Will it give you a hard pull if your business score has been how long in business? I'm not going to give you the answer. You want to go dig it yourself. Those you're not willing to dig. Some of you come back and say, they told me this. Some of you send me some of the application and said, yeah, those are right. Well, no, that's not the one. I mean, here's the one thing you want to understand. You're going to spend 1/3 of your life sleeping your life away out of 86,400 seconds a day. And you want to waste all your day worrying about all that problem when you know there's nothing you can do about the situation other than dig and investigate what happened. Oh, there's a world of stuff going on. So you don't think the banks are going to panic? When I'm going to tell you, between the 18 people and myself, which will be 19, we moved Friday over $7 million through Zelle. No matter what you moved, whether it be 10,000, 12,000, whatever the dollar amount your business allow you to do, because if you have now a history, I'm telling you, folks, there's a lot of money moved. Well, not just us alone. You got the other communities out there that had stuff going on. You got to understand it's a big, big deal. But you know what? It probably resolve itself tomorrow morning, because you know what? If you have done anything dumb or weird, you know what's going to happen. It'll be there. So tomorrow, we all know we're going to be busy, probably first thing in the morning, whatever that time might be, East Coast time, wherever you live at. It'll be East Coast time. Will probably be, I would say, maybe Pacific time. Let's say 6 or 7 is going to be what, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on that side. You keep bringing it down, and then things will be starting being transferred from there, because we all know there's things we got to do on the 28th before 5 p.m. Eastern time, which means we do it by 5 p.m. Eastern time. Things will get done by 1 o'clock Pacific time, and as the time zone follows, goes down and down. But also the other party that you're going to send stuff to, it's going to have to be ready to go ahead and make its move. Oh yeah, absolutely. Now another thing, is it going to be bank to bank? Now what I mean by this, now you might be able to Zelle from one bank to a different bank, but does that different bank going to hold it? See, we don't know that now, because before they didn't do it. When you Zelle it from Bank of America to Wells Fargo, boom. But now, since if it was even bank to bank this time, didn't work, unless it was a smaller amount. But some of you don't even know. We don't know now that, and we have people. I have some people digging now. They're gonna let me know early in the morning. My phone will be ringing probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. They're gonna tell me, okay, great. You can go from let's say Wells Fargo to U.S. To Truist Bank, Wells Fargo to Truist Bank, but they're gonna hold it this many hours or days or 1 to 3 business days. All right. Now let's start. Before it was like right away. All right, but is it the $4,500 mark? If it is, cool, then guess what we're going to do? We're not going to play. We're not going to go. We're going to go 42. And then right after that, maybe a couple hours later, do another 42. Or whatever it is to make whatever money people you guys moved around. You've got to plan on the problem. There's always something that goes wrong, and you got to plan on it. So you have now safety credit is something else inside of that. But you still got to go ahead and be ready to move things as expeditiously the way you want it. Because the receiving end, if they want something too, they've got to move their end prontito, whether it's from I don't know where they do it from, maybe from the library or wherever. But you want to begin to understand, you always got to plan on the problem. One of the things about if you're ever going to correcting your credit corrections, obtaining credit reports. I've told several people this. In fact, yesterday I had I think it was about 5 o'clock. Some of the people were asking, okay, great, where do I go? What do I need to do about this? Well, I already told them. I said, okay, you got to go LexisNexis. Got to go to CoreLinks. You got to go ahead to ARS. You got to go CoreLogic, and so on and so on. SageStream. One of the things that you want to begin to understand is that, can you call them up? Can you not call them up? Do you have to send a letter in? Are you going to send it register mail? Are you going to just do it slowly? The faster you take, I mentioned this last year to you guys in the middle of the year, then 3 months left in the year, and I said, you want to take care of your personal credit? I said it, go back and listen to my thing. I said it. I told you I had my ear to the ground. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but they told me and said, you watch again, by this July or August, you will have wished you have paid heed to what's been done. Those of you that have your business going, your business credit going, you're going to be in a 1,000% better position than a person just starting out. The game is going to change inside of the personal credit arena, not the business arena. In fact, it's going to shift for the better. But you remember, your lack of knowledge is why you bring the pain home. One of the things about you bringing the pain home is the lack of knowledge. Because see, lack of knowledge is one thing that brings the pain, because you don't know what to do. But when you get the knowledge and you freeze, that's no power. See, people say, no, I'm going to have to say, I'll debate with Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins has been around a long time. I've taken a lot of his courses back way when he first started, and the big course, Walking Over the Fire, doing these other things, and so on and so on and so on. Urban, all the other good stuff, reframing, deframing, all that stuff. And also, I even had a chance to work with Richard Bandler out in San Diego area for a while, and that made a difference as well. But the whole thing is, Bandler and Grinder, one of the things you want to begin to understand, all this knowledge is nothing. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge only becomes power when it's put into action, and not from an emotional standpoint. A lot of you still are emotional children. Some of you are like 30, 40, 50, 60, even 70 years old. You're still an emotional child about money. And if you're an emotional child about money, how do you plan to make any more money? Some people are mature about it. They go, okay, great. This is what happens. Okay, I know what it's going to do. It's just like everything in life. Everything takes its cycle, but you've got to be in action with the knowledge you get. And then do some research. Like, for instance, I didn't do any research on Zelle. The whole crew started calling, telling me. Hey, this is going on with Zelle. This is going on with Zelle. Have you, yeah, mine, same thing, okay? You know, someone from the East Coast, someone from the Central Coast, someone from Mountain Time, someone from the Pacific Time, and then someone from London. Then I have someone over in the Philippine region call me. It wasn't just in your backyard. A lot of you play victim. You gotta stop the victim mode. Why would you want to be victim in building your business? I mean, some of you build your business credit to be a victim. Come on. Building your business credit is where you want to go ahead and activate the fact, okay, great, I know what's going on. But here's one thing what we want to let you know. In building your business credit, there's going to be credit checks and what are credit inquiries and how do they affect your FICO score personally. Now, more than 6 inquiries are considered to be too many and can have a serious impact on your credit score. If you have multiple inquiries on your credit report, can stop you from getting the new credit you're looking for. Now, more than 6 inquiries are considered, not even the most recent ones, but if you have some on the still at 2 years old, now I take everything from all. I'm going to tell you on mine, in fact, I'll pull it up this week. On mine right now on, I think it's TransUnion. I think I have like maybe 18 inquiries on TransUnion. Are they current? No, they're not current, but they still impact your credit report. People do not understand that. You have more than 6 inquiries. Current is not good at all, but you want to get that old stuff off. Why? Because you want to have that, how do you put it? The Pearl credit report where it's just white paper. If you have any other inquiries like current ones, 1 or 2, that's fine. Now there's a way to get them off in other areas, but the thing is you want to understand is that even if you have some that are like 8 months old, you can get them off. You want to get them off. You want to get all that off your score and watch how your score jumps. Every piece of it. Why? Because that's just what it happens. That's what I say. Well, some other places say you don't have no more than 6 current inquiries in the last 6 months. They look sideways. Most of the people that have been in the program that I've been doing, we get white paper. I just like white paper because when I go in and say, here they go, they have only, maybe a total of 2 out of all the bureaus. Okay. They're okay. Wow. Now, here's the thing though. The reason why you want white is not if you're going to do work with anybody else. You want white because it's easier to get the white, because if you get the inquiries for the credit, see, remember, they're monitoring your credit. Now, I'm going to be doing a program again, but I'm going to do it with maybe a few. What's a few? What's the definition of few? Between 1 to a half a dozen at the most. But I'm going to be very, very, very picky on this one because when I teach some of this, they've just got to not ask questions, follow the directions, and after they get what they're going to get, then go ahead and, okay, because you won't ask the questions. You're always going to ask a question which you don't know. But when you go through it, like for instance, when you go through with your dojo to practice, you don't ask him, well, what do you do this for? He'll slap you. You go through the moves, you go through the moves, you go through the moves, you move your moves, you move your thing, you go this, you do your stuff. And why am I going like this? Why am I sweeping? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why am I doing these? Why am I going up and with them sometimes? Why am I doing certain things? You think he's going to sit there and explain every move to you? It's wax on, wax off. I told you this is going to be one of the biggest things for people out there, because I'm going to vet the ones I really want to take on, because of the fact is this is a very awesome program that you can build your credit. And guess what? You will no longer have to take the hit anymore for your personal credit inside of other areas. That's the reason why some of the people that are actually on the CFO program that have been in it, that's what I've been showing them. And the ones that are going to get started in the middle of this, probably the middle of March, they're going to end up doing the same thing. I'm going to start teaching them ahead of time before they get in. So now they can go ahead, and it's just an awesome program. The only thing is, I really have to vet the people because you've got to have a lot of character not to misuse it. And that's one thing a lot of people do is like to abuse stuff. And that's, I don't like that. Also, you're going to learn how the SS form works. We only get one SSS. You only get one social security number. But how many tax ID number? Oops. How many tax IDs number can you have? Oops. How many tax ID numbers can you have? Well, right here, I show you just 3. Right here, I show you just 3. Remember, corporation is a legal person. A division is a legal person. A DBA of a corporation is a DBA of a corporation. A DBA of you is a DBA of you. I don't care if you call it, you know, Banana Johnson Lawn Yard. Yes, if you get a tax ID, you're a little further away from it. But a lot of people, they have so, I don't know what they do. They just get a DBA of themselves called, you know, Joe's Lawn Service, and they still use their own social security number. Why? It blows my mind. Folks, I just really want to tell you, you cannot, right now is the opportune time to really start building stuff because it's going to be different by the end of the year. Some of you, I mean, it's just crazy. Some of you want to go ahead and do some things you haven't even started yet. I'm waiting to get this. You're always waiting. It's never going to come. You're like in a house that's burning down. The fire's going on and nobody's coming. It's just like again about the Zelle. Zelle was a big thing this week for a lot of people because they really, I said, why are you panicking? Well, because you know, if y'all want it, well, tough luck with you. It's really tough luck with you. You don't think I want the same thing? Yeah, out of those calls I got, I asked the guys, let me ask you, you don't think I want the same thing you're asking me? Well, yeah, well then you don't hear me crying about it. It's either going to happen or it's not. And if it does, awesome. And I said, what did you learn? Remember, if it doesn't happen on the day you think it should happen, guess what? Can you not explain it away? In March, you have a whole plethora from the beginning of the month to the end of the month to do what you need to do, and your business will show its income maybe 40 or 30, 40,000 bucks or more. Some of you will be a lot more, I know that. Going in and out of your account, what you're paying, what you're doing, because you're selling, people are paying you, have other companies paying you, you have this paying you for jobs done, and you're showing what you're making for that much, which makes up for February, because February is a short month, and some people got caught. I mean, I know I already have my letter explanations already done out for February, just in case. That's what I was doing this whole weekend. Letter explanation of why my income for February dropped. Oh, okay. Makes sense. I invoiced, they got caught. They needed, actually, the 28 days was, they get paid from other people too. So they caught. So I just tell them the whole thing. I explain it away. So what happened is they started paying, they paid this, paid that, everything I got. That's the reason why you see it. Oh, okay, great. I know what I need to do. I explained this to you, all of you. You all panic. Say, oh, I just got to do a letter explanation. Yes. And then your account shows them in March that you build these people because there's only 28. Oh, it's so funny. 28 days for some reason. People, this is a short month. It really is. 29 days for February is like, whoo, long time. I mean, sometimes I wish every month was just 28 days. That's so perfect. But the beautiful thing about it, you can explain a lot of this away with no problem. I mean, that now I have every letter done to every one, and I only have, see another thing. If you guys don't have an account that just deals with Zelle, you're holding your how do you put it? You're putting yourself in a bad position. Only have a Zelle for receiving your money in and out. That's going to handle incoming money and outgoing money for the business. You use your other one for your money to take care of other certain things. But that goes in and out. You can always submit those if you want to with no problem. I don't have it convoluted with my other account. For instance, that's why I said to you, you've got to have 4 accounts. I tell you a major account, a regional account, a community bank, and a credit union. 4 of those banks. You don't have 4 banks like that, that's where you're going to run into problems, because you can use the one for whatever. Some like for instance, GECU in business does not take Zelle. in business. Personal, they do Zelle, but not in business. Now, oh my God. Do you guys know how you can go ahead and get Zelle on the personal side with a tax ID? Anyways, you should be enrolled in the class. You'd actually find out how to do it correctly. But those are 4 banks you want to belong to. Regional, major, regional, community, and again, credit union. I use the regional, excuse me, I use the major for Zelle. I use the other 3 for different businesses. And if I have divisions, I never use the same location for the divisions. I go to a different location, or I go online and do it. I did Chase online for one, and they turned it down. I went to Chase this weekend, and luckily enough, I went in because I know I would do most stuff online. You have to have an appointment, and the lady says, well, you have to have an appointment, but that hold on a second. And then she went in the lobby, and I guess whoever was supposed to show up didn't show up. She goes, you know what, come with me. Anyways, I was able to set up the division, but I have a Chase, but I want a different branch, different community banks, different credit unions. Folks, you want to begin to understand and remember this. You've got to set yourself up to win. And also another thing, I got a call. No, excuse me, no. I talked to someone amongst our group that happens to do with merchant accounts, with credit card machines. He doesn't sell them, but he deals with them, and he used to actually own, but he doesn't do it anymore for whatever reason. And I asked him about some questions. He goes, well, you got to think about, because I applied for sometimes I'll apply. See, in other words, we apply for each other through the business area. Sometimes I'll apply for certain things for people, and they'll get things done, and so on and so on. But the problem is this. When you apply, he told me, especially on the merchant machine, if you live in a different state and you have a place in a different state, they're going to want to go ahead and have you check out where the location is. They want to do an office visit, even if it's in your home. So it's a location visit. So he goes, if you do that, you want to make sure you're doing it at least somewhere in the county. Credit, that's not a problem. But he goes, but the credit card machine, but I said I never had that problem before. I was able to do it over here, this and that, because I told him I was the CFO, and I'm able to use this, that, and everything. He goes, it just could be part of their policy. Because I know someone already did one in one area. Okay, I had someone in Denver that did it in Colorado, in Denver. No problem. I did one for someone that lived in a different state in Minnesota, and I'm over here in a different part of the country. Theirs got done. Mine, they want to do an office visit. He said, yeah, because you live over there. And I said, but I gave him a CFO letter. I had authorization. I work for the, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, that's sometimes it can be their policy. And this is what he goes, what you want to ask when you go, hey, look, is it going to be a problem for your business if I have my address over here, my credit address over here, but I do work from home, or I fly once in a while to there, to the location, and I do the job. Are you have a problem with that, me doing that? They say, well, yeah, we have to do office check. Then you can't do it. Now, the other ones like I've done in Colorado, Arizona, in fact, in Sedona, no problem. And the funny thing is, it was with not the company I did for Minnesota, but it was another company I did it with, and they didn't do it. They didn't even question it. They said, okay, no problem. They just cared about, okay, your credit, okay, good, boom. So one of the things you want to begin to understand is that learning all these things that make a difference in your business will allow you to go ahead. See, these are the things you begin to learn. They had no problem, but this person had a problem. Okay, great. Why did I have a problem? I'll always, if the problem shows up, I ask to find what, I'll go call around and see what's going on. And somebody say, well, I just rather quit and go up and do this and do that. Okay, well, fine, go ahead and quit. See, a lot of you roll up your mattresses a little too soon. And I'm going to tell you this, You do not want to do this in the CFO program if something doesn't go right away, because the owner's going to turn around and ask you, what are you doing about it and how are you going to fix it? And if you say, I don't know, or screw you, I don't need this dang job. Well, it's not a job. It's an actual opportunity. You can make money off your own stuff you want, and you want to be, no, you guys got to understand. Everything I ever touch with everyone, I promise you, stuff will, and it does all work out if you follow the rules. And I also tell you right here, look on this paper, a corporation is a legal person, a division is a legal person of a corporation. A DBA of a corporation is the DBA of a corporation is the DBA of a corporation. And I just dropped the bomb on you, but a lot of you do not know what that means. And this is the reason why a lot of you aren't able to go ahead and get the credit you want without getting any more credit inquiries. I've dropped it for years and years and years and years. Even when I had a gentleman with me, Christopher Reef, he used to tell me, man, he would butt in by now. He just dropped the nugget on you guys. You guys aren't paying attention to what he's telling you, because I'm not going to tell you, because this is stuff that you don't actually come and join to get. Some of you are even already set up. You even have the cards necessary to do what I'm saying, but yet you want to know why, how does it work? I'm not going to do all that. I'm sorry. You want to do it? You say, okay, I want to do it. Tell me what I got to do. All right, here's what's going to happen. Go do this, go do this, go do this. You want me to do it? Then here's what's going to happen. Da, da, da. And I don't have a problem doing it. I'm just saying, you want me to do it, this is what's going to happen. That's it. No worries. But I just want to let you know, a lot of you got to remember, a corporation is a legal person and division is a legal person. So a DBA of a corporation is a DBA of a corporation. Forget about a DBA of a LLC is a DBA of LLC. You're still going to be hit unless you structure it differently. Also, another thing, corporation, 1K, 1K, 1K. How about that was you as how about you daisy chain a certain credit card several times on the personal side. Don't worry about all the other scores you need, but that'll help you build a franchise. What if, again, if I told you, if you build your divisions right in the way they need to be done, anytime you need a CFO, you have one ready and available. Again, I'm not going to talk about taxes as much because a lot of you already get the point. They're not avoiding taxes. They pay no federal. They pay no income on federal taxes because of the fact they understand the rules of the game. See, this is all from the news in ABC. Okay, you check this, ABC. Look what they put. They pay no federal taxes. New developments. Super rich avoiding taxes. Many of the wealthiest paid little or no income. Yeah, and you guys don't think this is available to you? Are you crazy? Everything they do, you can mimic it. It's just going to be at a lower level. What do you care? So you make $300,000 and you're only going to pay taxes on $50,000 of it because you understand the rule of the game and it can be at any level. And that's why I say not an LLC. Your corporation is the one and only going to really be able to do and work what the rich are allowed to do. And your LLC can, if it is done in a correct way, that you can do that, but not the way a lot of you have it set up. I don't care who it is and what attorney comes, bring it, baby, bring it. Amazon, Bezos is my, I have to say Elon Musk too. They're both my heroes inside of, they went and they showed you what to do. All of you really believe. Now, one time in my mental world, I did this, I believed it too, until I got wise to wait a minute. What's the difference between them and you? They all worked 2 jobs before they got started. They worked their job and then they came home and worked on their dream. They didn't let the paycheck take their dream away. A lot of you get a paycheck and it takes away your dream because you get lazy, because you don't come home and start working your dream, because you kick back and say, oh man, I had a long day. I had a long day. Yes, sirree. You bet, Pappy. I had a long day. I work 18 hours. My dream doesn't have no first, first rate. I gotta go. Even if you put an hour after you got home into your dream, you're still feeding the dream. But no, Pappy, it's all right. I got paid today. I made $200 today. I can go ahead and relax on my dream. That's what a check does to you. If you all actually started in the world, had to work for yourself from a kid all the way up, you wouldn't be in the position you're in. Bezel, you don't think he worked like you? Some of you trying to find a way to make money to even start your own corporation and your business. But I guarantee you, if it's something you deeply down really wanted, you all would find the money that you need to make things happen. Look in your life where you really need money, you found a way to make it happen. You sold this, you sold that, you even sold your mother, I don't know. You took her to the pawn shop and they got a receipt on her to send her home with you. You got to go ahead and pay for your. I'm just saying, you guys, you know what? You all creative. You all have this nonsense. You guys like the drama saying, I need this. Oh, the world's going to take advantage of me. Oh, someone's going to screw me over. Oh, please stop it. Guess what? The reason why, the reason why some of you say it, oh my God. Oh, this lions and tigers, oh bear, oh my. Someone going to screw me, or someone going to do this to me, or someone going to do that to me. I'm going to tell you, I used to say it. But once I realized, wait a minute, you read these guys about Elon Musk and Bezos and Walmart and these other guys that made it and all this, you found out they all been jacked around, but they learned from that process and kept going. They didn't complain. You see Bezos now because he didn't quit. Bezos, I know he didn't quit, so that means I don't quit. That's why a lot of people do not make it in building business credit, because of how they think, how they speak, how they walk, how they move, exactly what your home environment's all about. And that means inside your head. What kind of neighborhood do you have in your head when things don't look like how you think it should be? Because the world's not about you. Again, I said prepare. I'm always prepared for, and when I say prepared, I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm prepared. I have people around me that call and tell me, hey, this happened. Yeah, me too, this and that. And then what do? I said, well, sometimes depends who it is. I say, well, lions and tigers, bear, oh my, okay, I get it. All right. You don't have to panic. Okay, great. We'll wait till Monday. And I said, what I'm doing is I'm preparing my letter of explanation for March. Why? I said, what have you learned in class from me? Well, if you have a slow month and you're worried about, whatever it is, then give them 6 months of statements. Don't give them 3. Give them 6 months if you have to. Or if you have to give them 3, one's a slow, you can explain it and say, here's the reason why. And you explain it where, I don't know, let's say you bring 40 in March, say, this is the 20 I would have brought in February, but the thing happened in 28 days. These guys got jammed up. So instead of me jamming them up, I let them pay me late. Oh, okay, great. So it explains that why February or January, November. You guys got to understand how to do letter of explanations. Oh, well, I tried. You haven't tried jack, I guarantee you. People try to talk to people. You can't talk to them and explain it verbally. It has to be put down in writing and explained and show with documentation. A lot of you want to do that extra work to get what you want. You're ready to moan and cry. But again, do you think Bezel would actually hire you and keep you? Because some of you are going to walk into that particular kind of business, by the way, in a particular program we have. And I promise you, if your proxy does not get stuff done by what they say, they're going to call you and say, why didn't you get it done? Because that's your proxy. Oh, yes. And if they make a mistake, you know what these guys do? They'll call and say, no, I apologize. You know what? I didn't realize I made the mistake. Oh yeah, they're cool about it. And guess what? Anything happens again, they're going to make sure that they have to come at you again. They're not going to come to you and tell you those things. They'll come and say, you know what? Great job with your proxy. You guys are making the bigger money when you have a proxy, by the way. It's like having a Sherpa. So there's no loophole. They're doing what they are allowed to do. One last thing before we leave. Again, there are no loopholes. They're doing what they're allowed to do because they found out what there is to do. By learning the small things now, when the big things come, you're able to you'll be able to use the small things for the bigger things that show up in life. A lot of you would lose your mind if you wired $175,000. You have the receipt, dated, timestamp, you on the camera inside the bank, and the bank tells you we have no record of it. And it's supposed to be wired to someone that's their money that they're counting on for you to give back to them. And they say it's going to take 30 to 60 days to go ahead and do it. And they want to take your original paper and leave you with the copy. What would you do? I'll go ahead and I'll slap him. I'll tell him he's low-life varmint. I'll strangle him. I mean, no. You say, okay, great. Tell you what. Get your attorney on the phone right now because I'm not letting loose of this original. There's no way, unless the bank manager is willing to go ahead and sign off on a clear copy that under the penalty of perjury, that this is a real certified copy, and have a notary come in. If they don't have it in the bank, then bring one in and notarize it. And if he's not willing to do that, then you can tell their attorney on the phone, kiss my booty. And then guess what? There's other things you can do. I'll tell you what, there's some good attorneys that really like that kind of stuff. Say, okay, great, no problem. You don't want to play? Then you can go to an attorney and pay him $225 to write a letter of what's going to happen. Doesn't mean he has to take the case. He can write a real nasty letter, real strong, and then your job is to send it out to everybody in the banking institution, the teller, the bank guy, the branch manager, the CFO. See, a lot of you should know how to look up corporations and send a letter all the way to Wall Street. You guys just can't bend over. I'm just a small guy. They're not going to pay attention to me. Then you know what? Go sit down, get a job at Walmart. Your life's going to turn out okay. You'll be able to moan and groan, get to maybe buy a new car once in a while, get yourself, a Big Mac, fry and a Coke, and just sit down and just go ahead and just kill yourself. Eating rotten food, in other words. Folks, you got to understand, there's no loopholes. They're doing what they're allowed to do, and you know what to do when someone tries to use a loophole on you in the bank. And guess what? That sucker got solved in 5 working days. Funny how they found it. Yeah, they would have found it in 45 days. But a lot of you would panic and scream and worry. Hey, if you know you didn't do anything weird on both sides, why are you going to moan and make it worse than yourself and other people when you know what? Hey, it's going to get done. And you know what? I didn't know there's another way out. I didn't know I could do a letter of explanation. Why? Come on, guys. You're not little children anymore. I spoke about this. But I want to tell you, this is the reason why at Corporate Credit Blueprints, you'll never be without things to do. Again, we're not here to be your attorney. We're just tell you what our attorneys do for us. We're not here to be your CPA. We're not even here to be your financial consultant, but we are here to tell you what we're doing and what's been working. I can tell you one thing about this. When we're done with you, we've repackaged not only your whole life, but the way you look at things, where you're able to transform things, which means you go in as a caterpillar and you make the cocoon, and then you come out like a butterfly and can never go back to the way you were. Good night, folks. We love you very much here at Corporate Credit Blueprints. Thank you for being fabulous. All right, tomorrow's Monday, guys. So remember, I know you know who I'm talking to on YouTube. I see you over there. Facebook, I see you over there. LinkedIn, I see you. You all know what I'm talking about. You guys know what time. All right, so starting at 4 a.m., I need to go ahead and get the texts I need so I know what time when I got to start doing my own wires. All right. We'll talk to you then. Have a great time. And most of all, remember, let me know, you guys, that you've got your stuff already in the bank so we can get things moving. If so, that's great. And some people say to me, why would you write the letters beforehand? Because I like being ready. And if I don't need them, guess what? I already have them. I can put them away and use them if I have to later on. All right, folks. We love you. Have a great one. God bless you all. And most of all, remember this. Each of you do make a difference with yourself, but never go in the alley by yourself. Let Corporate Credit Blueprints walk with you inside